Hello there, welcome back. We're now going to do Capone and another edition of What the Hell Is This? Now Capone is the Tom Hardy starring comeback film from Josh Trank. Josh Trank made Chronicle, which did well. He was the next big thing. And then his next film was the Fantastic Four, the reboot of Fantastic Four, which everyone hated. It was reshot to hell. When you saw the final film, it was obviously the second half had been so reshot and been so butchered that it made no real sense. And it's obviously the director had been clobbered in this film. The thing with Fantastic Four though is the first half has good moments. It's just that it doesn't feel like you've seen the full film. You feel like you've seen bits even of that. It feels just a very weird mess, you know. But I'd rather watch that than the 2000 version of Fantastic Four, because at least this one's an interesting mess. It's a total mess, but it's interesting to see the mess. After that, he was pretty much in director jail for a while because, you know, after you've just lost a lot of money for a studio and been publicly blamed by that studio, who are now owned by Disney, it looks bad for you. There's no way around it. Your career's in trouble at that point. He was made a Star Wars film. He was fired from that as well, apparently. Or he says he quit before he was fired. So, there you go. So, he was not doing well. So he kind of regrouped and wrote Fonzie, which became Capone, but the original title of the film was Fonzie. And that was what it went under until pretty much its release. I mean, it was called Fonzie for like years, and then suddenly, we're going to release it, it's called Capone. It was meant to be released in cinema, but because of coronavirus, it's going out in VOD, and it's now emerging in different markets in VOD. It's done pretty well actually. I think it probably did better than VOD than it probably would have done otherwise, because this is a film that would have done nothing in the cinema. I mean, it's so weird, and the critics did not like it because it is so weird. And I liked it, and I know it gets so weird. It's like, definitely Tom Hardy has been given full reign to give his full Tom Hardiest, you know. Which means the film is theatrical. Because Tom Hardy, when he doesn't have a director sitting on him, tends towards theatrical as an actor. That's, if you look at Bane, you know, if you look at him in The Revenant, he's a theatrical streak to him. And some people don't like that. I do. But it's definitely there, and it's one of those things that sometimes the director will block it down and say less. And sometimes the director, like in the case of Bronson, pushed it up to operatic levels, but that will work for the film. So Hardy's kind of weird. He can be very naturalistic, but he also can be theatrical, and it's like you have to match what you want from him to the style of the film, you know. So, in this film, he was given full bridle to become theatrical. Which is, I think, the saving grace of the film, but also it's the biggest defect of the film at the same time. Because at times, the theatricality allows you to engage in the kind of feeling of you're watching a person who's going mad, and he knows he's going mad, and, you know, and you watch a performance, and it's a theatrical performance of a vain person, a person who was so self-involved, only ever really thought of themselves. So the vanity is appropriate. Because at one point, because most of the time you see Capone, you know, with dementia, he's gone. But one time you see him how he was, and you see him in the mirror how he was in the 30s, where he looked very dangerous, very scary, but theatrical, you know. So the whole thing of who he is from that makes sense. This is a guy who had a reputation for violence and had to actually play a part to get across what he wanted. So the theatricality is in his bones. So I think if he did a naturalistic Capone, it wouldn't really work. But I think sometimes Hardy pushes it so much the director could have pulled him down a bit more to get the balance a bit better. Because I think it would have been better if it was switching between theatricality and realism a lot more than it actually does. Because a lot of time you feel like the director's letting Tom Hardy go too far all the time. And it kind of, it would have been better if it was switching back and forth almost like irrationally, and you'd see the two outside the person and the theatrical side. I think if it was jumping back and forward a bit more irrationally, it would have actually worked better. Here it's just too much of one and not enough of the other. And that's kind of the flaw of the film. I think it was written to be less theatrical, and I think it pushed a bit much during the making of the film. That does not mean that it's a waste of time though, because it's very enjoyable. It's Tom Hardy, if you like his theatricality, is a lot of fun. I mean, I love Venom because Tom Hardy went way, way over the top in a film that didn't deserve it. You know, this is a film probably deserves a lot more of respect because it's trying something, but it doesn't always pull it off. And this low budget kind of gets in the way sometimes. You do feel there's a constraints of budget because they are stuck in a house for most of the time. They're stuck in this big mansion that Capone's stuck at. And I have a feeling that it was a film that could have done with about a week of reshoots just to get little bits and bobs just to finesse certain things. I think it would have worked a lot better. I think it just needed, once they put the film together, just adjust some things really to it. And I don't think that happened, and I think that's a shame because there is something good here. There is the idea you see characters who you think are real and it turns out to be a figment of his imagination. You see other characters who are real, but you're seeing it from his point of view, so they become cartoonish, which is again interesting, which works well, but needed a little bit more fleshing out. And his wife needed more fleshed out as well. Linda Cardinale plays her, and she's good, but you feel you need a little bit more of her. You know, it's not that it's all the Tom Hardy story, it's just that it feels like it was probably written that a certain way, then probably when they put together maybe we have seen a bit more here just to finesse it. I think that's what the film needed, is a bit more here there to finesse certain things. Reshoot a lot of things, tone down a few things, you know. It could have worked. It was just, it was always going to be a cult film though. It was always going to be an eccentric film that was really weird. But it just feels a bit too weird for its own good. But I love the idea of as a guy who's violent, who's a brute, who's suddenly stuck in his own head, and he finds no escape from the violence. Like, all the things he's trying to find are seeped in with paranoia and seeped in with his hatred of people who aren't his people, and you've all these family members that visit once in a while, but he's not that close to them. They're just there. They're all waiting for him to die, and they're all scared of him, and they're all scared of the feds who are all watching him, and he's paranoid about everything. And there's a nice sense of there's no real warmth here. Everybody who's around him are out for something. Like his daughter, played by Kim MacLachlan, they want him to find out where he hid the money, because they've got stuff over him. You know, his family, because of the name Capone, are going to be hunted to death for the rest of their lives. So they're wanting the money just to be able to survive. And he can't remember where he put the money, and he's lost it completely. And it's a wonderfully interesting story. It's just not quite there. But it's not quite there made by a guy who has talent. So I think it's a case of, in Fantastic Four, he was butchered so much by the studio, he was probably very determined to do it his way for this one. And where I think he may have needed some help from a couple of places. So in one film he probably butchered too much, and this one he probably left too much. And there's an in-between balance that probably would have been better for him. But this is still an enjoyable film. This is still a weirdly interesting, oddball thing. You won't forget this film. I mean, this is a film where Tom Hardy shits himself 3 times in the film. He is giving his weird, creepy performance. It is very strange and very odd. And he really is into it. He's not phoning it in. But I think they needed a little bits of material here or there just to get it to the place it needed to be. It's just, it feels, it's a professional finished film, but it doesn't feel finished dramatically. It feels like it's almost there, but not quite. It's like it needed one more draft, or needed a bit of reshooting here or there just to not to get it to be a commercial film, but just to get it to be where it was trying to get to be what it was. Which is what a film this needs to really do, is to be what it should be rather than trying to appeal to commerciality, because it's never going to do that in the first place. But it's still worth seeing. I would definitely recommend seeing it if you like oddball films. If you like eccentric performances and a film that's ambitious that might not fully deliver, but it's something, it's unique, it's something really different. So definitely try and see it. It is worth seeing. It's just, it is flawed. It's very flawed, but I really enjoyed it because I like weird films. So I hope you enjoyed this. So I'm trying to not talk too specifically, so I'm trying not to give away certain things that happen in it that are really strange. But enjoy. I hope you try and watch it because it is worth it. So bye for now. I'll see you later.